And as we talk about what's been happening after more than 2 months of no classes, the Basic Education Minister giving the green light for those grade 7 and 12 pupils to go back to school today. And remember, this comes a week after the minister postponed, saying too many schools were not ready now. Just a week later, Angie Motshekga says 95% of the schools are ready to open. Well, let's discuss this now. We're joined by the president of the National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, Naptosa, Basil Manuel, who's been with us as well, listening to our reporters since the beginning of this hour at 10 o'clock. Mr. Manuel, good morning, and thank you very much for your time and your patience at this hour. Sense of relief, I guess, amongst your members that finally back at school.
Both, good morning, Dan, both relief as well as concern, because of course teachers are just normal human beings, so there would obviously be some concerns, some fears, uncertainties, etc. But a lot of that gets done away with when they get back to school. And of course, insofar as our learners are concerned, I'm sure exactly the same thing happens there. So yes, a sense of relief that we've reached the day. Now we need to see that everything is flowing smoothly.
Everything flowing smoothly. Were you assured in your last engagement with the Basic Education Minister last Thursday that from today everything will be done to ensure the safety of the learners and the teachers?
That was the undertaking, Dan. And the undertaking is, of course, that if the school is not completely ready, no teacher or learner will enter those schools. And we've got to make an appeal to our people that are overzealous. And sometimes our principals feel pressurized, and they tend to want to make it happen even though these issues are not all in place. Then we are playing with the lives of our people. However, the undertaking wasn't an absolute undertaking, because we know, and we've known, that there will be a few schools that will be left out of the loop, of great concern to us, of course, and that is because of water issues, sanitation issues, and particularly in KZN and the Eastern Cape, and a bit in Limpopo and in Mpumalanga as well. And we want the plan as soon as possible to get them into the loop, because we can't leave anybody behind. There are those schools that are, of course, in a really bad way that would not be able to open. And, of course, it brings us to transporting of those learners to the nearest schools. So there are issues, but I hope that they are at the barest minimum. We would like to be on the side of assuring the parents and our teachers that things are going well. But as the day goes on, we will discover some things, no doubt.
Now, you as Naptosa, what would you be looking at to assure yourselves that going forward things are on a solid footing? And how long do you think it would be fair to expect those other minority of schools that have not gone back today to come on stream?
Dan, let me answer the latter part first. We're hoping that within this week we will get an indication that the majority of them have been attended to, particularly the water issues. Those that are infrastructure issues, they are obviously a bit different. Insofar as what happens now on the road ahead, today is in many ways the easiest part of it, in that we knew that schools would become COVID-19 compliant eventually in some way or the other. But of course there are structural issues, and there are issues also now with sustainability. For us, the big question is, how do we sustain compliance? How do we get away from what is normal human behavior? You know, the first day we are all concerned and doing the right things. By the 5th day, well, we're not so committed to it. And by the 10th day, we are saying, nothing has happened, so nothing can happen. And we are saying, let's not fall into that trap. First of all, to the department, how do we sustain the supplies of those consumables, such as the hand sanitizers, such as the paper towels and the like? Then also at the school, how do we ensure that the learners continue with the social distancing, that the teachers continue checking that? These are much bigger issues than what we believe they are. Are we getting ready for the large group coming in? Remember, more than 50% of the school will return come the 6th of July. Then it's a different ball game. Are we readying our timetable? So there's a lot to be attended to there. But also the sustaining of the water supply. Remember, some of these are dependent on tankers delivering water there on a daily basis. Will that be sustained? Can it be sustained? And these are the things we're going to be checking up on. And then also to to calm people down. When there is an incident at the school, to ensure that we don't all suddenly panic and feel that we are all at the point where we are infected, to see that we can isolate, control it, and not spread panic, because the worst thing is for panic to reach the children and everybody starts running around wildly. Dan, there's a lot to be done, and I think many people underestimate the role that teachers and schools are going to play in ensuring that we have a safe passage into normal schooling and then maintaining the system to ensure that we remain a system that is looking after the health and well-being of everybody on the staff, the teachers, the non-teaching staff, and the learners.
Thank you very much. President of the National Professional Teachers Organization of South Africa, Naptosa, Mr. Basil Manuel.